Well, it looks like it's going to be pretty quiet around the house because my wife's going to prison. If we were to believe the phone call that she received today. And the interesting thing that I found about this situation is the call came in on her cell phone saying it was from her cell phone. Interesting little tactic. And the bad guys on the other side said, she hadn't paid her taxes and there was some improprieties with her tax relief, her COVID tax relief and funding that she received. And if she didn't pay the money back right away, they were sending her to jail. They were going to come and get her, pick her up, and take her off to jail. Now, she knows that these kind of things are scams. But who in your life do you know that might have saw or heard something like that and taken it very, very seriously? Think of some older folks maybe that are around. You've got to make sure to explain to those that you know how the scammers use emotions against you. Now, in my wife's situation, she already knows what scams look like. I mean, she has to listen to me talk about cybersecurity all the time, so she already knows. But the reason she said she answered the phone call was it was showing the last four digits of her cell phone. And now we happen to have the last four digits of that number in multiple places, so she assumed maybe it was myself calling or someone else that's close to us. So she answered it. That's why. So the scammers are pretending to be someone that they're not, clearly, because they're spoofing the telephone number to make it seem like it's someone you know to try to get you to answer. Then once they got you on the phone, they do that whole routine of, you haven't paid your taxes and you've gotten too much in your COVID financial relief from the government and you're going to have to pay us back. And I've heard this from a couple other people across North America I've been talking to. So what that's telling us is the bad guys are looking at what regions that they're calling. So my wife got a call saying it was from the Canada Revenue Agency, from one of my friends down in Indianapolis, or it was Indianapolis, or it could have been down in Tennessee. Regardless, it was saying it was from the Internal Revenue Service. So they're customizing the message to the markets that they're calling, and they're spoofing local telephone numbers. One time you used to be able to tell, be very suspicious because it was coming from a 1-800 number or some other foreign number, and you go, who's this on the phone and what are they trying to pull? But now they're using local telephone numbers. That's called spoofing, and if you've got the right piece of software, you can pretend to be anybody you want when you're making that phone call. So it's going to make it a little bit harder, so make sure to talk to the elderly in your life that might get such a phone call or explain to them, and you got to help re-educate. I talk about the REST test quite a bit. Requesting personal information. These are signs that it's possibly that call or that email is a scam. If it's requesting personal information, they should already have. They don't need to know your bank information. They don't need to ask you your account information, whether it be the bank or the government or your social insurance number. They should already have all that stuff. E is emotion. They're going to try to use that emotion. You're going to jail. You better pay us now, to try to get you to take that action. For emails, spelling and grammar. And again, for emails or social media, think before you click. See where that's actually going to. So these phone scammers are really using that requesting personal information. If they get you engaged in the conversation, they're going to tell you that you need to, crazy enough, sometimes they're going to ask you for gift cards to Costco or Target or Home Depot or something like that. Like the government would actually take payment by gift cards. But they will use it, and some people will do it and will fall for it. So that's why we got to get the message out and keep educating people. So they're using that requesting personal information, and they're using that E on emotion big time, pushing hard. Who wants to go to jail? Nobody does. So it's a pretty accurate tool to try to push that button to get that emotion raised up so that you go, oh, and maybe take them at their word, which, of course, they're lying and they're being con artists, but they make money off of it. And unlike you and I, most people generally are good. And I suppose if you really stop and think about the psychology of it, I had one of my peers mention it, saying, "Hey, look, chances are these people are in a small call center or somewhere's offshore in a third world country, trying to turn a buck and feed their family, and to them, North America, big, rich, got tons of money, and why not call and try to get a piece?" Not saying it's right. Clearly it's wrong. But the psychology of what's happening there. Or, of course, it could have been actually from organized crime. In that case, they are just out for the money and they could care less. Pulling a scam by phone, way easier than trying to traffic drugs or other type of scams that organized crime is into. Anyways, that's kind of the tip of the day. Let's make sure to keep everybody educated and on their toes. These people are calling. These people are making the calls look local, and they're going to use that emotion against you. Stay safe and take care of one another. Hey, I've had something new at the ending. Hey, that's kind of new. It just came off. But, all right, maybe it should be try to take care of one another. Keep everybody updated, and stay safe out there.